Hey yogis, long and strong hamstrings. You're going to need a block. If you don't have a block, a cushion's going to work as well. As always, please listen to your body. Yoga should never be painful. Modify as much as you need. Now, it can seem paradoxical that if you have tight hamstrings, or you know that your hamstrings are quite short, it can seem strange that actually the answer might be in strength. But lots and lots and lots of us have a weakness in our hamstrings. And if you're looking for longer hamstrings, give this video a go 2-3 times a week for a month, and then let me know how it goes, because I think you might be pleasantly surprised. If you have super long hamstrings, but you know you need strength, if the beginning of this class is really hard for you, then that shows that you need to come back again and do it a little bit more. And over time, you're going to see results. You're going to see your body change quite quickly, your strength improve. What might be impossible today, over time it's going to get easier. Right, we're going to go because it's not that long class today. The first thing I want you to do, you can bring blocks underneath your hands, but I just want you to feel out your hamstrings. Maybe it's early in the morning like me, or maybe you've had a whole day and you're actually feeling quite open, but notice how it feels. I want you to find length in your spine. So if you find yourself super curled up, then grab a block and see if you can lift your tailbone. You should feel that lengthening your hamstrings, and try and keep that nice long spine. I always try and bring my thoracic spine through my heart to help me keep that length. So just notice how that feels, and then let's hop onto our bottoms and come all the way down, and we're going to start as we do often in a bridge, but this time a little bit different. So you're going to bring your heels down, you're going to bring your toes up towards the ceiling, and you're going to lift up. And you're just going to hold it here for a moment. Now, if you have a foam roller, that's the hardest option. Or if you have another yoga mat, you can put that underneath your heels for a little bit of instability, and you're really going to feel that more in your hamstrings. But you don't need one. I'm going to do without today. So let's just stay here for another 3, another 2, another 1. Now, hands go onto hip bones just to notice what our pelvis is doing. Try and keep the pelvis where it is. Lift up. Let's do the right knee first. Lower, tap down, and lift. 5. Draw the ribs in. This isn't a back bend. We're keeping that nice strength in our core, in our glutes, in our hamstrings. And do one more. Hold at the top for 3, for 2, and 1. Right leg comes down, leg left lifts, and then you're going to lower and lift, staying on your heels, staying with those toes up towards the ceiling. Now you're going to notice one side might be stronger than the other. So for me, this is my stronger side. The other side, I could feel it straight away. Leave it at the top, hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring your left foot down a little bit in front of your right. Lift your right knee. Bring your foot down. Your hands can come beside you. It's going to give you a little bit more stability. You're walking your feet away as much as you can control. When you feel that you can't control anymore, then walk them back. Before you do, hold them in that long position, glutes on, push the heels down and pull back in space towards you. Feel the hamstrings. Okay, and then start to walk them back. We're going to do that 3 times. When you're lifting and lowering your legs, be aware of that stability in your pelvis again, and then walk them back out. Okay, I'm feeling it in my glutes and my hamstrings. Walk them out, get to that longest point and hold. Push down through the heels, pull back in space. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk them back. Okay, we've got this yogis, we're in this together. And then last time we're going to work it out. Maybe go a little bit further, but be aware of your boundaries. We're all different. Maybe you can walk further than me. Maybe you can't walk very far at all. That's okay. Listen to what's right for your body. Let's hold it in that long position for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Let's stretch the arms above the head. Give yourself a long, long stretch. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Stay with your breath as you take your hands behind your thighs. Take some rock and rolls forwards and backwards. And we're going to come all the way up. Let's go into chair pose. Cross your legs if you need to, use your hands if you need to, that's okay. Now, round to your right foot, bring your hands to your heart, bring your left leg back in space, and then slowly bring the toes down, bring the knee down. Let's keep this quite 90-90, so hips over knee, and then that feeling of pulling back with the right foot in space, like we did when we were on our heels in bridge. Now, if you need to, bring a blanket or something underneath this left knee. As we move, I want you to notice if you're rounding forward. Can you imagine I'm in the room with you and I'm pulling you from the top of your head? Okay, when you're ready, you're going to pull your left heel in towards your bum and lower, lift and lower. Keep that length through the spine. You want to keep a little bit of a tuck in the tailbone. We're not trying to give ourselves a posterior tilt. We're trying to avoid coming into that anterior tilt. Okay, another 5, 4, try and control the movement as much as possible. 3, you can reach your arms above your head if you want to. 2, hold the last one. Okay, interlace your fingers, bring it behind your head, push your head back in space, trying to get that lovely neutralness. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly release. Where are we going? Oh, I know. Okay, from here, you're going to come back into that chair pose at the front of the mat, and then you're going to wiggle your feet out so they're a little bit wider. So they're about hip distance if they aren't already. Turn your toes out. Yeah, so we're going towards a yogi squat. I'm going to jump back a little bit. So in the middle of the mat, I feel like we might need to be there. Okay, she says, I do know what we're doing. I do have a plan. Okay, from here, we're going to sit into a squat. I want you to notice what your pelvis does. So as soon as you start to tuck under, stop. I want you to really feel your glutes, okay? And then here, turn your toes back in, bring your hands to your heart. You've probably done this with me before. I love this move. So feel your hamstrings here. Lift your sit bones towards the sky, but also ground through your feet. So you're not only feeling a stretch, but you're feeling really long and really strong as well. Lifting the kneecaps, quads nice and strong. Okay, we're going to do that 5 times. You ready? So sit into your squat, take it into the fold. Toes move with you. Toes go out, toes go parallel. Out, parallel, out, parallel. Okay, one more. Perfect. Wiggle your right foot into center. Ground your foot. Oh no, stand all the way up. Okay, I do know what we're doing. My brain's going really funny. From here, we're going to do deadlifts. If you want to, hold onto the wall, hold onto a chair, something stable. I really want you to focus on your hamstrings here, particularly this right hamstring. And I don't want you to worry about the leg that's moving. So if balance is a real issue, come and hold on to something. But if you want to challenge your balance, you can as well. So hover your left foot off the mat, so you kind of suction it into your hip joint. And then you're coming into a deadlift. So this leg is grounding down, it's really strong. And you're going to feel, as you tip forward, that it comes under length, but you can feel it strong as well. And then you're going to lift it up. I don't want you to worry about coming into a perfect warrior 3 and lifting this leg super far. I really want you to focus on this hamstring and finding that length and strength combination. You ready? Okay, ready? And come back, squeeze the bum. We're going to do 10. So that's 3, 4. Your hands can come to your hips as well. Just to notice if your left hip tries to open, don't let it open. Another 5. Ooh, I've got the wobbles. Another 4. Another 3. Another 2. Ground down through the big toe mound. Stay with your breath. And another 1. Awesome. Now, stay down. Grab your block. You're going to bring your block and place it in your left, between your left hamstring and your left calf. And then you're going to take it into a warrior 3. Maybe reach your arms back. So we're working both hamstrings here, but in different positions. So this hamstring, our left hamstring, is shortened. We're squeezing that block with it. This one is in a lengthened position, but it's still really strong. Hold here for another 5, for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And then what I want you to do is take a forward fold, bring your knees together, your left heel is still lifted, and then take a forward fold here. Your hands can come onto blocks if you want to, and just keep that left foot coming in as you lift your sit bones towards the sky. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Foot goes down. Wiggle the feet hip distance and take a little ragdoll from side to side and just feel any difference in the hamstrings. Maybe this one is cramping a little bit. If it cramps too much, remember you can always pause, you can always stop, you can do less repetitions. As I said before, really listen to your body. Okay, where are we going? We're going back. Let's go through chair. Let's little walk forward. You're going to step your right foot back. You're going to come down onto that right knee, come back to that 90-90 lunge, grab that blanket if you need to, if you need a little bit more support for your knees. Feel that lift through the crown of your head like I'm there with you as you pull the heel in for 10, 9, controlling the movement as much as you can, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. You can lift your arms up if you want to. You can bring your hands behind your head, push back in space. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Come all the way up, step the feet together. We're coming into our yogi squat and our halfway lift. So sit down, toes come in as we find that halfway lift. Sit down and back. Exhale, inhale. Another 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Come all the way up to stand. Wiggle your left foot into center. Suction that right foot up so it hovers off the mat. Remember, you can grab hold of something as you take it down and back up. And then down and back up. Another 8. So you want to go down as far as you feel that stretch on the hamstring. I'm just gonna, I feel like now I've held onto the wall, I need to continue because my balance is just completely gone. Okay. So if you feel it's a real struggle with your balance, like me, then do grab hold of something. Okay. 4, 3, remember that glute, squeeze it as you come up. 2, and 1. Perfect. From here, you're going to grab hold of that block. You're going to place it between your right thigh, your right calf. Ground through this left foot, bend the knee a little bit if you need to, and then reach the arms back as you find that warrior 3. Make sure you're not gazing forward, tuck the chin slightly. So the gaze is slightly forward, but your neck's nice and in line. As we hold here, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift up, remove the block, bend the knees so they're together, and then fold all the way down. Feeling that strength through that left foot, feeling that drawing the shoulder blades in towards the heart, lengthening through the spine, and then slowly release the foot and take it into a little ragdoll. So we've got one more strengthening before we move on to stretching. And we're going to come into Skandasana. So roll up piece by piece and then step your left foot towards the back of the mat. So with this Skandasana, I don't want you to just be chilling out, taking it over. I want this to feel hard. I want this to feel all about your strength rather than just flopping into it. So try and keep the heel down. Not because that's right necessarily, but I just really want you to think about strength. Sit your hips back, and if you want to, you can send the opposite toes towards the ceiling. If it feels better to keep the foot grounded, then that's okay as well. So bending into the right knee, be aware that this knee doesn't collapse in. Push it out, and you can even have your hand there to keep that knee tracking. keep that glute working, basically that glute medius working, and down. So you're going to feel the glutes. You're hopefully going to feel the inner thighs as well as you take it from side to side. Stay as low as you can. If you need to, you can have the fingers down, but try to keep the hands lifted so you're really focusing on using your leg and glute strength as you go from side to side. Try and keep the chest lifted as much as you can. We're going to do 3 more on each side. 3. My left side is worse than my right. This is where it all comes out, guys. Oh, this is the last 2. Last 1. Okay. And take it back to the front. Let's take it into a little downward facing dog for a moment. Give the legs a little bit of a pedal. Just notice how the backs of the thighs are feeling. And then step your right foot forward. Grab that block, place it by your right thigh. Okay, back to that 90-90 low lunge. So you have a feeling of pulling back with the right foot, forward with the left knee. Grab a blanket if you need to, that's fine. Bring your fingertips onto the block. Reach your left arm high, length, 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 and then take a little side bend. And as you do, have a little sensation of tucking the tail, squeezing that left glute, and feeling, hopefully you'll feel some openness through the hip flexor, through the psoas. Hold here. You can even bend the elbow again and just bring it onto the back of the head, pushing back slightly, keeping everything in line. For 2, and for 1. Inhale brings you up. Widen the stance, so longer lunge now. Let's bring it into lizard for a second. So wiggle the right foot over towards the right, untuck the back toes. Little cat-cows here, so inhale, lift the tail, lift the heart. Exhale, round, round, round. And just notice the sensations on your hips, on your hamstrings, on your legs in general. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Now, kick that leg back towards you. You can stay on your hand, you can come on your forearm if that feels better. Take hold of your foot with your hand. First of all, push your foot into your hand, roll the right shoulder back. She says when her foot's cramping. So you don't want to feel like, you want to feel strong again, guys. You don't want to be collapsing here, you want to feel a lifting sensation. And then what you can do, instead of pushing one into the other, you can pull that leg a little bit further towards you now. For 3. 2, and 1. Slowly release. Wiggle your foot more back to center. Grab hold of the block. If you've got 2 blocks, this is ideal. You're going to place it just in front of that foot, and you're going to come back into a long pyramid shape. So your back foot's about 45 degrees. If it feels better, you can be on your back toes. And you want to basically have blocks so you can have that nice long spine. If you have longer hamstrings, you can bring your fingers to the floor as well. But it can just feel quite nice to have a block there, a little bit kind of, I like to have a little bit of resistance on the block. Now, bring that there, bring the right hip back, the left hip forward. So your hips are facing as far forward as you can. And then have a feeling like you're lifting your tailbone. And hopefully you should feel this in the back of the hamstring. Again, you're not actually coming into an anterior tilt, you're just trying to get that stretch isolated to the hamstring and bring yourself into that nice neutral spine. Now, notice what your breath's doing. Our breath is so important. Our nervous system is so important to our flexibility. If we go into stretches, pow, 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 our body just says no. We have these basically our muscles just say, no, okay, no way, I don't want to injure myself, stop. So what we need to do is go in 30, 40%, breathe, let our body know we are safe, we are okay, and then gently inch into it bit by bit. And so from here, we're going to stay in this stretch. You can bring the block with you. Bring the block over to the left and just notice how that changes the stretch on the hamstring. What you can do is just give the hips a little bit of a wiggle, opening and closing. And again, just notice the sensations. No fast movements, and keep that feeling of strength in the legs alongside that feeling of openness. Couple of breaths here. And then you guessed it, we're going the other way. And again, you can have that little wiggle. Notice how that feels. Holding here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Cheeky little strength here. You can have a block to help you. You can bring your hands to the floor. You can float your hands if you want to. We're going to come and sit on our bums. Little cheeky pistol squat. So, okay, opening this way. Let's take a little side bend. Straighten the left leg. The right foot comes into the inner thigh. Reach the right arm over and take 3 slow breaths with me. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping that right shoulder open. Inhale. And release. Last time, breathe in. And let it go. Now inhale brings you up. You're going to step your left leg over your right. A little stretch on the hips. The other thing that can happen if we have weak hamstrings, other things take over. And it can lead to things like tightness in the hips. Even things like knee pain. And so, along with this routine, it's good to have those kind of stretches that are going to help to release those parts of the body that might have become a little bit overactive. One more breath, and then exhale, release. And then we're going to switch out. So if we can do this without using your hands, lift your left leg, straighten your right leg, and come into Janushirshasana stretch. So bringing your torso over the right leg, a little bit inside if that feels better for you. You can reach your arms up long. You can bring your fingertips behind you if you want, just to give you that little bit of resistance to help you fold forward. But remember what I said about your nervous system. So breathe, go into it, say 30, 40%, and then gently release even further, but using your breath to help you. We're going to spend a little bit of time in here, so you've got time. Don't worry about where your hands are, that your hands have to be around your foot. Just notice on just focus on sensation. You can be on a little block or place of that folded up blanket underneath your sit bones if that feels better. Again, that idea of lifting the sit bones. You can even use your hand to remove the flesh from your sit bones as you gently fold forward. Strength through the legs. Reach the chest towards the legs. I'm going to stay here for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently inch yourself back. We're going to take it straight to the other side. So roll over the knee, step it back, down dog. Step your left foot forward, come down onto that right knee. Bring the block by the left hip. Your fingertips are going to come down onto it. But first of all, find that feeling of dragging back with the left foot, pulling forward with the right foot, gentle tuck with the tail, glute on, fingers come down, our right arm reaches up and take it over. Notice the sensation through the hips. And again, with the hips, if you find your hips are constantly tight, it also can mean that they need strengthening as well. I've got lots of videos on the app that will help you, lots of classes that can help you with that. Now inhale brings you up, step your left foot a little bit further forward, place the block to the side. You can bring yourself onto your forearm. Oh no, sorry, we're going to lizard first, sorry. Untuck the back toes. Inhale, that little cat, cow and lizard. Just to really feel into the body. Notice any asymmetries between this side and the other, and if there are any, that's okay, be okay with that. You're all asymmetrical. Last time, inhale, and exhale round. And now we go down. We kick that foot towards us and we take hold of the foot with the hand, roll the shoulder open, perhaps push that foot into the hand into the foot, create that resistance. Notice the sensation from doing so. Can you use your breath to keep the body, keep the mind calm? And then if you want to, you can work on pulling that foot back towards you if that feels good. Remember that feeling of lift. We're not collapsing into any of these stretches. Last breath here. And then slowly release. Wiggle the foot back to center, grab hold of the block. If you want to, hop that back foot in. Remember the options on the toes, or ground through the foot, turning the right toes out. That lifting of the sit bones, lengthening through the hamstring, pull the left hip back, the right hip slightly forward. And imagine you're pushing your thoracic spine forward through your heart, just keeping that nice long back. Can you calm your breath? Can you use your breath to get even deeper into this pose? Hamstrings are one of those things we've really got to care for, and lots of us, me included, have learned the hard way and injured them. And when you injure them, it takes a long time for them to recover, which is a sad fact. For me, it was demonstrating when I wasn't warm, when I was teaching lots of in-person classes and constantly demonstrating, and just in the middle of the class going into lots of forward folds and not paying enough attention to my body, fortunately. So from here, we're going to walk the hands over towards the right, and again, you can have those little twizzles of the hips, just paying attention to how it feels. So our hamstrings aren't just one muscle, they're 3 muscles. So actually changing direction and not just working on one plane is a really good idea. Find stillness for these last few breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to walk over to the other side. You can have those little wiggles if that felt good, or you can just simply find stillness. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, cheeky pistol, sit it down. I totally cheated that one because I had my hand on the block. Okay, bring the right leg straight, bring the right arm to the inside of the leg and reach over. Breathe with me, breathe in. Exhale, release. Breathe in. And release. Last time, inhale. And exhale, let go. Inhale brings you all the way up across that right leg over the left. That left leg can be straight if you want it to be. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find a little bit of rotation. Thinking about that rotation all the way up the spine. It won't go equally because our spine doesn't rotate equally through the different parts. But what we just want to ensure is that we're not just twisting from our necks. So a nice way to think about it is twisting from the sternum, from this part, just over the heart space. Exhale, take a counter twist just like before, lift the hands, left leg goes straight, right leg goes in, forgot which way we're doing. And again, we're taking it slow. Focus on the breath. If you want to pull the flesh away from the sit bones, you can have your hands behind you like I showed. Just remember, go in 30, 40%. Take it slow, we're in no rush, and you can always take longer or come back to any of the stretches or strengtheners that you found good. And if the strengtheners felt really hard, it's probably saying that you need to do them a little bit more. And as I said, you can add them into your week 2-3 times a week, even if you don't do this stretch part of the class as well. Just focusing on finding strength in the hamstrings is a really good shout. And if you really want to make that the first one we did, one of the first ones we did, that low lunge where we pulled the heel in towards our butt, if you balance a block on your back foot, that is just so hard. Even if it's like a really light foam block, I don't know what it is about it, it's so tricky. Not only one for balance, but your hamstrings will say hello, that's for sure. Okay, last few breaths here. And then inhale, slowly, slowly. Bring yourself back. And then I want to show you one more before we come back to that forward fold and see what our body feels like. This one, my friend Liv Townsend showed me Baddha Konasana with a block, and I'm obsessed with it ever since I saw her do it. So you can place the block between your feet. If this doesn't feel right for you, that's okay. I think it's all to do with your leg proportions in terms of what's needed. You can put it on different settings. For me, the skinniest feels the best. And then come into a Baddha Konasana, you can wiggle yourself towards the block, you know, your body, what feels better. And then you can clasp your feet, but I don't want you to use your arms. I really want you to use your strength to push your knees down towards the mat. Keep the chest nice and lifted. If you want to, you can fold from the hips, but trying to keep that nice long spine. Breathing the knees down. Maybe you'll feel this in the inner thighs as well. Maybe you'll feel this in the glutes as well, which are helping you bring those knees down towards the earth. Hold here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Bring the block to the side. You can have it underneath your hands if you need to. Can you get into a forward fold without using your hands? So coming back to where we were at the start, notice how your hamstrings are feeling. Again, you can go into it super slowly like we did before. Can this time you have straight legs? Even if you have your block like this or even higher, you can bring your hands to your heart. Super straight legs. Lift your kneecaps so your quads are on. That's going to help your hamstring lengthen. It's called reciprocal inhibition. You might have heard me talk about it before. That feeling of lifting your sit bones towards the sky as you find your fold, and hopefully you find that you're much deeper into it than you were at the start. And if you don't, that's okay. Keep going with this video. After 3, 4, 5 times, hopefully you'll start to feel that difference. One more breath here. If you have time, you can stay longer. It can be nice to bring a fist to your head. I like to do little pulses as well. And then slowly release. And let's come into a short Shavasana to end. Slowly heel yourself down onto your mat. Bring your feet mat distance apart. Let the feet fall out to the sides. Bring the hands away from the body, fingers curling naturally. Together we breathe in. Together we breathe out. Please spend as long as you have here in Shavasana. I hope you've loved this class. There are lots more hamstring focused classes on the app, and I'll see you again on the mat tomorrow.